Hi everybody, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Welcome to Game On, show all about tabletop gaming from RPGs to board games and everything in between. This is going to be our Empire Strikes Back Part 2, the best in the trilogy.
Wow. Way to set us up for a letdown in the third installment.
What are we talking about today?
We're still talking about...
Beard clipper.
Well, indirectly, yes.
Indirectly.
So we had a viewer present us with a question that turned into a multi-part question, which was how to inject fear into an RPG that maybe wasn't initially designed as a scary type horror environment game, but you want to put that element into it, or you want to convert some other game into horror or scary themed.
Part 1's right here.
Oh, yes. Floating disembodied above Justin's head somewhere. Sure. Yeah. Click there if you want to see the first part of this, which might make the rest of this make a little more sense.
This is part 2. It'll be more serious.
Oh, right. Okay, we're going to be serious now. In part 1, we talked a little bit about physical danger to characters, which is kind of meh. And then we talked about moral danger.
Moral dangers, yes.
To players, which is more interesting.
Yep.
Watch the other video to find out why. And now, the next sort of way to generate fear in a game, I feel, is something that really hits at the heart of a lot of players.
Okay.
Which is the fear of powerlessness or the loss of agency, control in a game.
Yeah,
right?
It sucks.
Because one of the things that the whole role-playing experience is built upon is that you are the master and the puppet master in control of a character who has all these amazing abilities that you personally don't have. So you get to do all these things and have these cool adventures through the conduit that is your character.
Yep.
If that conduit is closed down and you lose control of that character, your whole experience in the game is sort of closed off. And that's high stakes danger for a role player. I mean, to have the light switch turned off on you. Right?
Yeah, that's not fun.
No, it's not fun. It's potentially frustrating. It's potentially, all kinds of negative consequences to that. Now, the trick with this is you want your players to be afraid of that happening without actually having to do it to them that much.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you actually do yank away control of somebody's character from them,
that's a fun sucker.
Well, it does. It very quick. Like, you can do it for a little bit, and that sort of primes the pump and makes that fear visceral, and they'll fear it for the rest of the game if you do it to them a little bit. And then you have to give the power back to that player pretty quick, because the longer you take it away, the more disconnected from the game they will get, and you run the risk of losing that character or losing that player and having them not reconnect with the game and sort of lose their investment. So use this sparingly, or at least make them afraid of it, but don't actually do it except sparingly. And when you do it, you have to return it so it's been gone long enough for them to appreciate what they lost, but not lose touch with their character.
Yeah.
There's a couple different ways that you can do this, right? With a character who has a strong, or a player that has a strong moral compass, making them lose control and sort of become evil or become the monster.
Okay.
Right? That can be a real traumatic. There is another type of player, tends to be the power gamer, and people with sort of more ambiguous moral compass who revel in the secret opportunity to become the monster, right? Mm-hmm. For them, that might actually be a cool thing.
Yep.
Because they feel like they just ramped up their power levels and they can do things that they maybe secretly wanted to do but didn't really feel was appropriate for them to do as a player character until you just gave them an excuse to do it.
Now they justify it because they're the evil monster.
So if you want to scare the britches off of that type of character, do not dangle the fear of becoming a monster in front of them. Dangle the fear of becoming weak and powerless. To the power gamer, you want to scare the power gamer. Give them the fear of not being feared, right? Because those guys want to be feared. Those guys want to be, powerful. Those want to be dangerous. They want to be seen as a threat.
Yeah.
So you take away that power or threaten to take away that power. And that will be the scariest thing to that type of player. You make them weak. You make them powerless. You make them despised without being feared. That the fear of that humiliation will be a very poignant thing for a player like that. And again, you don't necessarily want to have to do it, but you present the prospect of that happening. And suddenly that player is scared of that consequence. And so that will color the way they operate in the game. And there will be this level of tension for all the players as you sort of threaten them with the thing that scares them as players most.
I don't think I've ever tried that.
It's tricky. I mean, you have, it's a subtle thing. And again, all of this is a little bit of a balancing act, right? You want to instill the fear of things in players without having to actually do it, or at least not do it very much. Because the more you do it, the more used to it they'll become, or the more disconnected they'll become. And both of those will lose the potency of the fear factor, which is what you're chasing here. This is the hardest of the techniques, I think, but it is potentially the most effective in creating legitimate fear.
Yeah.
And there's one more that I can think of.
Do you want to do it in part 2 or do you want to do it in part 3?
I don't know, man. Do you think we've got enough here and we'll do it in part 3?
Yeah, I think we need to have a part 3.
All right.
Because I said that
we did tease that it was going to be, this is the Empire Strikes Back episode, and now we have to have a letdown Return of the Jedi episode. Apparently.
I love you.
Yeah. No goddamn Ewoks, though.
Oh, he didn't say I know.
Fear of being a pygmy teddy bear.
Oh, this is so cute. Okay, well, I look forward to hearing what you have to say in part 3.
I look forward to hearing what you have to say in part 3. Now he's afraid because he's got to come up with
I gotta come up with something. But yes, let us know in the comments below if you guys have ever tried this kind of technique, try to yoink the power from people.
And what you think of that idea. Manipulating your players the way you might otherwise manipulate, the characters. So, yeah, let us know.
Yes. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, game on.